In 2019, I bought my first single-family house in Austin, Texas. It was an amazing house in the northern part of Austin, a peaceful and green neighborhood, 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms. I paid just about $450,000 and was very happy with my real estate investment. And today, after 2 years, this house costs about $700,000 and I can easily get 30 plus offers from potential buyers if I decide to put my house on the market. It will be an incredible profit, about 60% of the money invested in 2019. So if you want to make a $1 million in 5 years from real estate, you have to buy 4-5 houses in a growing city like Austin, Texas, right before the COVID epidemics, and that's it. That's a joke. Nobody knows when the next real estate market crash will happen, and trying to time the market is a losing game. So we need a slightly different strategy to become wealthy with their real estate investments. Hi, my name is Dmitry Bonder. Hope you're doing well and stay because everybody wants to have a passive income and retire as soon as possible. And the most obvious way to get a passive income is to become a real estate investor. All you need to do is to buy an investment property. And when I use the term investment property, I'm referring to residential or commercial property that you plan to rent out to tenants. But the problem is that not so many people can afford to buy 5 properties that cost $500,000 each. And based on the US statistics, nearly 40% of homes in the US are free and clear of mortgage. That means that 60% use a mortgage to buy a house. That means that to build wealth, we have to have our rental income bigger than our mortgage payments, including the mortgage payment, taxes, insurance, property management, maintenance, etc. So in simple terms, we need a positive cash flow. And in my opinion, having a positive cash flow is the only one predictable, not risky way to invest in real estate. Yes, I know about appreciation of your property, but that's like putting all your money on a black or red while playing American roulette, where odds are less than 50%, actually 47.7. Okay, but how to pre-select properties based on a positive cash flow approach? Let me show. That's a very helpful skill to make right investment decisions in case of real estate investments. I have my Excel spreadsheet with all properties that I can find on the market. I put all the data that I have about this house. List price, association fee of frequency, listing ID, year built, acres, school district, and more. But that's not enough. Then I have all my assumptions built on a separate spreadsheet where I have all my assumptions in one place that works for this specific city or market. For example, estimated annual insurance, projected maintenance per square feet, annual bookkeeping cost, annual supplies, expense escalator, expected down payments, cost of appraisal, interest rate amortization, and many others. And only after that I can see where I have positive cash flow starting from year 1 or from year 2 or only after year 5. Or maybe this property is too expensive to acquire to have a positive cash flow. So in my case, only one property at this moment can give me a positive cash flow right from the first year. And that's because Austin, Texas housing market is booming and a lot of people, especially from California, come to Austin and they are hunting for good deals. And probably you notice that in this table I have a positive cash out after 5 years for every property. How can I explain this? The problem is that there is a big assumption that every year you will have 5% growth of sale price. Yes, you may say, the percent increase in median sales price over the 9 years preceding the pandemic was about 5-6% in Austin. But now the market is so hot everywhere that it's too bullish to expect the same rate of growth. By the way, if you need a template of this table, please do two steps. First of all, click the like button, and B, go to my Patreon link in the description to download this table. Okay, I hope I gave you enough quantitative data to look only for good cash positive deals. Don't be tempted to buy a property that will have negative cash flow just because you hope for appreciation. That is a speculation, that's not investing, and it may not end very well. If you have a positive cash flow on your real estate, then your tenants are paying your mortgage for you. If your cash flow is a negative, then you are having to contribute every month, so your tenant is not fully paying your bills. If your tenant is paying mortgage for you, then every month your debt is reduced and your equity increases if there is no appreciation on the house. The only one problem with this approach that thousands of people are looking for good deals, especially when the market is so hot, like in Austin, Texas, or Stamford, Connecticut, or Boise City, Idaho. There is one more way you should know how to make $1 million in 5 years from real estate. Invest in home construction. Yes, definitely, that's not the easiest way, but sometimes it works. And it works because there is a reason for that. If you look at the real estate market growth over the last decade or longer, it's easy to see that much of it is the result of limited housing inventory. And for this reason, many predict that construction of new homes will continue to boom over the next few decades. In that sense, it's easier to see why investing in the construction side of the industry could also be a smart move for you. I have a good friend of mine in Austin. He is building a beautiful art-style single-family house in Austin, Texas. I helped him to make several cool videos showing prospective buyers and real estate investors all benefits of real estate investing with him. But on the other hand, I know some numbers from his profit and loss statement, and I can say that it's a very risky business, especially taking into account growing price of lumber and building materials. So if you want to choose this way of investing in real estate, be ready to build strong expertise in building new houses and dealing with the construction companies. Sometimes to build this expertise, you need maybe 2-3 years or several completed construction projects. Unfortunately, it doesn't matter what way you choose. For example, A, buy a single-family house, or B, invest in a home construction and then rent out this house. It requires being involved in a property management. The only one way not to deal with the tenants is to hire a property manager. And many investors who want exposure to rental real estate, they hire a property manager to do all the heavy lifting. For instance, one of my friends bought a rental house in North Carolina, but actually lives in California. And while he tried to manage his properties from a distance at first, he ultimately chose to work with a property manager to save his sanity and his profits. And while he works over 8-10% of gross rent to his manager, it was still one of the best decisions he's ever made as a real estate investor, he said in a private conversation. So my friend's property manager takes care of the rental property basics, for example, like a minor repairs, vetting prospective tenants, collecting rents, so he can focus on locating the next profitable rental property investment. In that sense, he gets the benefits of being a landlord without all the hard work. And one of the most important roles that the property manager plays for him is that they act as a buffer between the tenant and owner. He doesn't receive random calls, texts, or emails from tenants at all hours of the day and night. But, folks, the key to making sure this strategy works is ensuring you only invest in the properties with enough cash flow to pay for a property manager and still have some sizable rate of return. And one more way not to involve in everyday property management, become an investor through Fundrise or any other real estate crowdfunding platform. I'm investing through Fundrise starting from 2017 and now have a portfolio about $130,000 with real estate properties all over US. How does it work? When you invest in Fundrise, you are purchasing shares of what is called an REIT, and there is also something else called an E-fund. And these are not traded funds. The only option through Fundrise is to invest in a portfolios, meaning you can't pick and choose individual real estate projects to invest in. There is a video on my channel about investing in real estate through Fundrise. Check it out and you will get a better idea how it works. And finally, what to do if you don't have $500,000 to buy a separate house for rental? The answer is the house hacking. It's essentially a hybrid of a buying a home to use as a primary residence and a buying a rental property. And in general, the term refers to the buying a residential property with 2 or 4 units and living in one of the units while renting other units out. But it can be applied to buying a single-family home and renting one or more of the rooms. Let's say you find a quadruplex, 4 units for example, for $200,000. Including tax, insurance, we'll say your mortgage payment will be $1,500 per month. So after you buy the property, you rent out 3 of the units for $600 each and live in the fourth. So in this case, not only do you live for free, the rent covers your entire mortgage payment, but you are generating positive cash flow about $300 per month, and you are building equity in a more valuable property than if you had bought, let's say, 1 unit to live in. So house hacking can be one more excellent low-cost way to start building a portfolio of rental properties and to make $1 million in 5 years through a real estate investing. And what is really amazing, that because you live in the property, even a multi-unit residential property can qualify for primary residence financing, which comes usually with lower interest rates and lower down payment requirements than investment property loans. So you are typically required to live in the property for a certain amount of time, and after you buy it, but once the period expires, usually it should be about 2 years, you are free to repeat the process with another multi-unit property. It's a magic formula. Thank you for watching this video. As always, don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and go open Fundrise account and pay 0 advisory fees for 90 days if you follow my link below. Or you can get a $250 worth of free Bitcoin if you sign up with my link for BlockFi. Love you, I'll see you soon, bye!